making them scared to be on the street. They're worried about being here. They don't feel so at home anymore.
Okay. And why do you think that's a good thing?
Well, because they don't belong here. They don't share the same values. They don't know our history and our culture. That's why they don't assimilate very well.
Why
All of them
only
don't celebrate
undocumented immigrants?
Thanksgiving. What's that?
Why only undocumented immigrants? Do you see that same thing as
Well,
applicable
because there's a
to-
reason why we have
Hold up.
immigration laws. There's a reason why we don't have open borders. This country would go to if we just let all these poor people in. We don't need to increase the
Wow,
underclass.
okay.
Why do we want more of a lower class?
Pause. Okay, so you're saying they shouldn't be allowed in the country because they're poor? Is that your view?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Why would you
Okay.
allow extremely poor people into this country?
Oh, because I think that's I
That
think
doesn't
that it
benefit
doesn't
you.
matter whether or not they're quote unquote poor. They're throughout history. Would you say the same thing about people who have immigrated to our country historically? Would you say anyone who was considered quote unquote poor should not have been allowed to immigrate to our country?
No, I'm talking about the current period of time.
Wait. So why was it okay in the past that people who are poor could come to our country, but not now?
Because we needed huge amounts of labor. It was pre-industrial time period. We still needed huge amounts of manual labor.
Pre-industrial.
And it
I'm
was-
sorry. After the industrial
Okay,
revolution.
pre-mass automation.
Okay, so
Okay, in the early 1900s, we still had a primarily agricultural economy. Okay, our economy was not what it is today. We're looking at a mass loss of jobs going forward due to automation and AI. Why would we bring in low-skilled people? Okay, there's a reason for immigration policy. There's an entire theory behind
I don't
it.
consider people quote unquote low skill, and also the idea that we don't need a growing population, I think, is ridiculous. Do you think a growing population because of birth rate would be a bad thing?
A selectively growing population. We don't need an
Answer
open
my
door
question.
policy.
Answer my question. Do you think a growing population through birth rate would be a good thing?
Oh, without a doubt.
But we don't need them anymore because of AI and automation.
Yeah, but you can't restrict people's right to have children. It's good to grow. I mean,
But you
that's
wouldn't
just
want
what
people.
we need.
But you wouldn't want people to have more children, right? You wouldn't want.
I think it's good
people
to have children,
incre-
yes.
Okay, so it's good to increase the birth rate, but you just said that because of AI and automation, we don't need more people. So why would it be good to increase the birth rate?
Okay, because increasing the birth rate is good for the society and families and people, okay? We need a well-balanced
How so?
society.
How so? How is it good for the people?
Because a well-balanced society has children, it has old people, it has middle-aged people. You can't have things unbalanced. It changes the entire fabric of communities and societies.
Well, then I'll tell you this. So it is unbalanced right now because of the fact that there has been a lower fertility rate below the replacement rate for the past 50 years. So actually, we're going to see a significantly smaller portion of young people able to fund the system to afford people who are older the benefits that they require, right, in terms of Social Security, Medicare, etc. So this idea that we don't need more people into our country is actually a ridiculous idea, and that you even disagree with it because you're totally okay with increasing the birth rate. So this idea that you're bringing up, that it's specifically just about them being quote unquote poor, or just them specifically come to our country, these are completely bull points that you don't even.
Do you
believe
understand
yourself.
why we have immigration policies and a visa application system and background checks and we investigate people and who they are? Do you understand why we do that?
Yeah, and I think that we would have a greater vetting process if we actually provided a vetting process for undocumented immigrants that have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, right? And we would actually be able to ensure not only that more people are vetted, but we'd also be able to ensure that more people coming to our country are vetted by making the legal process go significantly quicker. So your argument here does not lead to a greater amount of vetting. My argument here does.
We would be better off if we had a smaller, low-class, underclass in this society. It would increase.
Yeah, so then use policy to do that. Don't say that people shouldn't be allowed to immigrate.
That's what our policies do. That's what our immigration policy is designed to do, to not allow open door policy of just poor, unskilled people from all over the world to come here.
You keep
We
claiming
have a
that, but
system.
really the only person who's unskilled is you at making this argument. So would you like to actually provide a legitimate argument here? Because I've already responded to those points you just made, and it was ridiculous. Would you like to respond to my points?
What are your points?
I've already responded. Oh my Jesus
point.
Christ. The whole argument you had about poor people, you don't even believe, right? Secondly, right, in terms of the
Yes, I
increase,
do believe. What poor,
Yes, you do.
I don't
Yeah,
want poor
no.
people coming into this country that are just
Wha-
random,
okay, so then-
low-skilled
so then-
people. It's hurting
Wait, no, low
Americans
skill. So then
and
you
the
wouldn't want
low class
yourself.
especially.
So then we should get you out of the country because you're low skill.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not low skill.
Yes, you are. You're low skill. Get him out of the country. He's low skill. This argument is dog. This is a low skill argument. Okay.
I was born in the country, so therefore all points are mute.
Oh wait, so you believe in birthright citizenship?
Of course I do.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So then here's my question. So someone born to an undocumented immigrant, are they a citizen?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Interesting. Should their parents be allowed to stay?
No, it
Would you
shouldn't have
separate
any
them as a
effect on their
family?
parents'
So
status.
only the kid
Yes,
can stay, but you would separate them.
yes.
Why?
That's what because the undocumented immigrants have no legal reason to be here.
Well, if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, I believe they should be allowed to stay.
No, they shouldn't have come here in the first place. That's the point of having immigration
Wait,
policy and vetting processes.
their kid's a legal citizen.
What does that have to do with them?
They're the parent, genius. They
That's
have
not
to take
how
care
our
of their
citizenship
kid.
process works. You
Well,
don't
I believe
get
it should work
citizenship
that way.
from your parents. It
I
works
believe it
in
should
the
work that
reverse.
way. I believe it should work that way. Right now, our
Okay,
current
well-
wait. Now, right now, our current immigration process allows for people to come into our country.
You need to look up immigration theory and read a couple books about
I have.
it, buddy.
I have.
because
I
you
know
do
more
not-
than you.
You don't
I know more
understand
than you, Skippy.
concepts of theory.
I know more than you. I guarantee it. I've just argued against every single point you've had. You've given me no responses.
I've argued against your points too, buddy.
On what? What specific point did you give me an argument
Every
against?
point I've argued back at you. That's why I'm still up here on this live.
You didn't actually give me an argument. What was the argument?
I just argued back and forth with you, okay?
All you said is that you don't want quote unquote low skill people in the country. How does that benefit the society that we live in?
Because low-skilled poor people hurt our country.
Okay, so then you want to get rid of all U.S. citizens in which meet that criteria?
No, I don't want to do that. I just
So
don't
do you
want
want
to
do you want to
bring in
invest? Wait, I have a
low-skilled
question.
poor
Do you-
people that have no
do you
right
want-
to be
do you-
here.
Do you want to invest in education? And also, you say no right. I think that they have a right.
You believe foreigners have a right to come here and become citizens?
Absolutely.
Buddy, you are so off base. Do you understand why we have borders and nations and countries? Have you
You've
read
asked the
history
same
of the
question
world?
3 times now. Yes, I do understand why we have borders.
Do you know about? Do you understand the
You
new
tell me.
world
Wait, I have a
order?
question. What's going to be negatively impacting the society living? Name one way an undocumented immigrant that's not committed a violent crime or bad crime coming to our country undocumented harms you.
Because below a certain income threshold, you take more from the government than you contribute in the terms of taxes. Okay, that's why.
How do you know what their
become a
income
herders.
threshold will be in our country?
Because we look at where they came from and what they have and what their abilities are, and we make a determination of how they're successful they will be in this country.
You can't do that based upon that. That's a ridiculous assertion. Secondly, if you want to look at like the income,
That's what our government
Hold
does.
on.
That's what the State Department does. There's entire agencies devoted to it.
I don't think that you have a legitimate process of being able to identify what specifically someone's going to be able to achieve given the level of social mobility that exists here comparative to other places around the world, right?
So a poor farmer that's in debt from Kenya that has no skills, okay, and makes his own
wait,
clothes and
you
shits
just said
in the
they're
mud,
you
he's
just said
gonna
they're
come here.
wait, you just said they're a farmer. You said they have no skills yet they're a farmer? Isn't
That's
farming
unskilled.
a skill? Wait, farming
it's
is
not.
Wait, farming is definitely skillful.
Farming would be considered an unskilled laborer according to the classifications of the federal government, okay?
Yeah, but I don't consider that unskillful.
Well, then why do they come on H-2B visas instead of H-1 visas?
One, because you're referencing specialized labor, whereas
H-2 is for unskilled laborers.
you're crashing out, dude. You're so crashing out. Just because it's classified currently right now as unskilled does not mean it's not skilled. I do think that farming is a skillful job. I doubt you could farm.
So you just disagree with the
Wait,
classification.
do you farm? Have you ever farmed in your life?
Probably a lot more than you.
Have
I
you?
own a landscaping company.
Do you farm?
No.
No. So then shut the up. You're
I'm a
unskilled. You can't farm.
horticulturalist.
How about you go out and farm? Go out and farm. Could you grow anything? I doubt you could. You don't even have that skill.
I live in the highest real
You're
estate area of
unskilled.
the
You're
country.
unskilled, bro. You don't know how to farm. You're unskilled.
Farming is not a skill.
Farming definitely is a skill, genius. That was the dumbest thing you've ever said. Tell me,
You
what's a
have
skill?
to Google it. Picking vegetables is not a skill.
One, farming isn't just quote unquote picking vegetables. Two, can you tell me specifically what you consider a skill?
Something that takes years of training, classification, education.
Farming?
You know? No, it doesn't. You
Yes,
can
it
pick
does.
vegetables
Yes, it
and
does.
you're considered a
Farming does
farmer.
take. Wait. Farming absolutely.
What do you
does.
call someone who picks vegetables then? A
Wait,
vegetable picker?
I'm sorry. Are you not understanding that farmers don't just grab or harvest the crops that they grow? They also have to grow them. They also have to know the soil. They also have to
Okay,
work
so
and
I'm
operate the
talking about-
machinery.
I'm
Hey, stop
talking about
talking. Stop
vegetable
talking.
pickers.
You're obviously not skillful at this argument. You don't even know what a skill is, right? I just explained to you what a skill is. You landscape. I think farmers
I'm
are
talking about
definitely.
farm
Wait, by the
laborers.
way, in the context of farming, they also landscape. Okay, so they do your job within the context of farming. So if you think that they aren't skillful, then you aren't for sure.
My job is not landscaping. I own a $1.7 million company. That's not my job is not.
And I guarantee it's dog shit. I don't give a shit. It's considered 1.7 million. You have no clue what you're talking about. You didn't even know what a skill was, right? I just explained to you that farming is a skill. You didn't know that before. That's embarrassing.
What do you call the guy that picks vegetables? They're classified as farmers.
Why do you keep saying that? Why do you wait? By the way, why do you keep saying that?
That's an
why are you saying?
unskilled
Do you think that's the only? Do you think that's the only aspect of farming?
Farming's pretty unskilled. We've been doing it since we were cavemen.
Okay, so okay, that doesn't mean that we can't. Wait, by the way, that doesn't mean that farming doesn't require skill. Could you farm?
It doesn't. It just requires a lot of money.
If I specifically put you on an island if I put you on an island by yourself, would you be able to farm?
Yes.
You would?
Easily.
Okay, so explain to me how to grow crops.
How to grow crops? You plant seeds in the ground, and you don't even have to water them most of the time. They just grow. Then you wait till they're ripe, and you pick them.
Okay, so again, you don't know nothing about how long it would take to grow them. You don't know anything about the soil it would require. You don't know how much water each plant would require.
You're a clown, dude.
You don't know anything about the conditions that would prevent.
Have you ever had a garden?
Wait, I like how he didn't bring up anything about insects or rodents or anything about like different type of animal life that would specifically be taking away those crops in the very first place. So one, you don't know anything about this. Isn't a fucking house plant. By the way, hey dude, this isn't a house plant. Okay, this is not a house plant. Okay, this is outside. You're dealing with literally getting crops so that people can eat. You don't know anything about farming. You just assumed you did. You know nothing about that. What about equipment repair and maintenance and being able to maintain this and actually utilize that machinery in the first place? You don't know anything about what you're talking about. What do you mean this is unskillful?
Okay, I'm talking about if you drop me on an island, that would be sustenance farming. Have you ever looked at how homesteaders raise crops? There's no equipment.
So then why didn't you describe any of the ways in which I specifically talked about? Are you not going to have any mechanism to limit rodents or insects? Or are you just going to say, oh, I'm just going to put the seed in the ground and watch it grow? What is this, Minecraft?
No, because you don't. What do you think you do when you have a farm?
Dude, you think the only aspect of farming is Minecraft, dude. Your idea of farming is Minecraft. That's actually nuts.
I'm way too old to play Minecraft.
Yeah, well, by the way, age
not
doesn't
everyone's
limit.
20 years old, buddy.
Age doesn't limit you from playing Minecraft, genius. But I'm talking about the fact that you think you plant it and it just grows, like it's Minecraft. Like genuinely, that's your idea in your head. Like, that's absurd for you to say, okay? One, this isn't unskillful. Two, right, we need farmers. We actually really do need
Parker,
farmers.
have you ever grown a garden in your backyard?
Not myself, no.
Okay, so who's the one that can't farm?
I never said I could farm.
You said you're a better farmer than me. That was said on this live.
I don't even know if I said I was
ridiculous as it sounds.
I don't even think I said that I was a better farmer than you.
Well, you did. It's crazy, but you did say that.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to, I guess. I don't think I know farming.
Okay, well, you're the one trying to lecture me.
I'm just claiming that you don't know farming. Wait, I'm just claiming that you don't know farming.
I don't claim to. I know the basics, and apparently you do not.
You didn't. I had to mention all of them to you.
Dude, when
you said put seed in the ground and watch it grow. You don't even need to use water. That's what you said, dude.
I have a garden in my backyard that I do nothing to all year. It just rains. Okay, there's no rodent problems. Okay, sometimes the squirrels eat a couple tomatoes. I harvest it in the fall, and that's it. That's how it works.
Okay, I just want to let you know.
If you want to increase yields, and
if you have to increase yield if you're taking care of all of your food needs. You're not taking care of all of your food needs with that level of crops. Okay. And also, not all crops are grown in that context. Wait, how many plants do you have?
I can't count them. I have no idea.
You don't know how many plants you have?
I'm not trying to sustain off of them.
Wait, you have a garden? No. You don't know how many plants you have? What?
Yeah, that's correct, dude.
What type of pesticides do you use?
I use no pesticides. It's a home garden.
What type of crops do you grow?
Tomatoes, eggplant, zucchini, blueberries, carrots, watermelon.
All of those in your backyard?
Yeah, Parker.
Okay. How about this? Go in your backyard and turn your camera on and show us.
Okay, great. It's November, so I mean, everything's dead. Show you my nice garden.
Also, by the way, you need to grow more than that to be able to like literally survive. I just want to let you know. Secondly, I just want to let you know.
I'm not trying to survive off my garden.
Don't crash out. Don't crash out. It's okay. Secondly, if you wanna look at this again, one, that's a skill. We already clarified based upon your definition of a skill, that's a skill. Secondly, when you specifically say quote unquote low skill individuals, you don't want them into the country. Again, you provided no mechanism how they're negatively impactful to the economy that exists if you consider them to be quote unquote low skill. Because I can consider you low skill. And you said it was based on some income threshold. You don't have any
I'm trying
argument.
to turn on my camera. It won't let me.
No, you don't even have the ability to turn your camera on. Now maybe you lack that skill.
I walked all the way out here in the rain.
You lack this. Oh, you walked out in the rain.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that you had to walk out in the rain for nothing.
I have a serious
low
guardian.
skill. He's low skill. He didn't even know that he didn't even have the ability to turn on his camera. Low skill. Look at that. Look at that. Low skill. Okay. No, genuinely though, like you have no basis for saying that the amount of skill specifically that you're going to be referencing, or what skill they specifically need to have in order to be considered skillful, right, would be reason to say that they are negatively impacting the economy. You have no basis in evidence to indicate that they wouldn't be negatively impactful to the economy. You couldn't even name one way in which they harm you.
The entire basis of our State Department immigration policy is based off this.
I don't want to hear about our current State Department immigration policy. I want to hear, name one way an undocumented immigrant who has not committed a violent crime or bad crime harms you.
Because they take more than they contribute to the community in terms of taxes.
Legal immigrants and undocumented immigrants have a higher labor force participation rate than natural-born U.S. citizens, meaning that they're going to be providing more into the system than they're going to be taking out of it, especially because on average their age is younger.
That's not what that means.
Wait, on average their age is younger, so that they're going to be receiving less benefits than people who are older. That's actually exactly what that means. If you knew anything about economics,
I'm talking about someone who works.
Have you studied economics? Have you studied economics before?
$60,000 a year. Can you not talk over me?
No, I'm going to. Have you studied economics before?
Yes, I have.
You do? You have?
I took some intro classes.
Okay, what's market equilibrium?
I don't know, when the market is meeting the needs of the consumers naturally.
Okay, so you don't know anything about economics. You didn't even know market equilibrium is the intersection between supply and demand. You didn't even pay attention in your intro class.
Of course you're going to know
I'm not fresh out of college. I've been out of college for over a year at this point.
You're asking vocabulary words.
And you learned that in your first class for intro to econ. That's market equilibrium. I learned that
was
in high school.
16 years ago.
I learned that in high school. Okay, you don't just because you learned it 16 years ago.
And I did answer the question.
You didn't. Market equilibrium is the intersection between supply and demand. You didn't know it was the intersection between supply and demand.
When you have what capitalism strives to create, that's a market equilibrium.
Okay, you didn't even tell me it was the intersection of supply and demand. You don't even know what you're referencing. So explain to me, how does an undocumented immigrant come into our country
I explained it
harm
very
you?
Clearly.
No, you didn't. I had to tell you. And then you complained about the fact that you didn't remember because it's been. And then you complained about the fact that you didn't remember because it's been too many years since you've been in school. You want to unmute yourself, man? I don't know why you just muted yourself.
I'm back. My phone's all wet.
That's a
Couldn't
skill
quite
issue.
get my finger on the button.
Skill issue. So would you
Well,
like
we're better
to...
off with less immigration, especially poor people
No,
that have
we're
not
not.
been vetted.
No,
Because
we're
we don't
better
need
off,
to increase our
we're better
lower
off with
classes.
more immigration. I can send you a paper from the National Bureau of Economic Research that indicates that the immigration that we've actually seen an increase in wages, right? And we've seen an increase in employment rate for natural-born U.S. citizens, and which meet that criteria of quote-unquote lower skill that you particularly defined as. Did you know
I can find data that says the exact opposite.
Then go ahead, provide me some. Because I guarantee the study that I just mentioned. Well, go for it. No, you could try. Because I guarantee the study I just mentioned not only references that, but shows that how it builds upon that and actually provides better outcomes in terms of what the model would show in terms of estimations of whether or not it's going to have a positive or negative impact on wages, employment, and GDP. Because all of those see a positive impact. I know that you didn't know that because you haven't studied economics at all, but you can't even mention a single way in which it harms you. The ways that you mentioned it, quote unquote, harms you, were actually not even true. So provide a skillful-based argument, please.
An argument of what?
That actually demonstrates that undocumented immigrants who haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime should be kicked out of the country.
Oh, because they're a burden on our community and our
No, they're
society,
not.
especially.
No, they're not. They're actually
Okay, so
taking care of our communities.
why are school districts going bankrupt from having to provide ESL language classes? Okay, why is that happening?
What school?
Lakewood Township,
Okay.
New Jersey.
Okay, let's look. Lakewood Township.
ESL classes. Look at that.
Township going bankrupt because of just ESL classes, by the way. Not any
What else
other
came
class.
up on Google?
Let's
What
see.
came
Let's
up on
see.
Google?
I'm pulling it up. Actually, no, it's not even because of that.
Oh, tell me what it is.
It was
Be
actually
honest.
it was actually because they didn't have a separate funding stream to accommodate special education. Okay, so
And where are all the special education students coming from?
no, wait, by the way, there's no evidence that it's specifically immigration. Wait, I just looked this up. There's nothing for that. You just made that up.
Google ESL classes, Lakewood, New Jersey.
Wait, I just did. And
Well,
again,
that's what's going
literally,
on there.
it doesn't say that. Could you give me a source?
The Lakewood Scoop.
No, what's the title?
That's the name of the publication.
I need a title, not just a publication.
Oh, I don't have a title. Just go on their website, search ESL classes.
Yeah, I've already looked this up and I don't see this at all.
The chat really is liking my videos, getting the views up.
What are your videos? People don't spam the videos in the comment section unless you've done something crazy.
They've been spamming saying video for like a couple minutes now. They're accusing me of things.
Yeah, I mean, I literally click on and I literally see it looks like he's probably going to be anti-Semitic because that's why people are spamming that in the comment section. So we're just going to go on to the next individual.